Try to be best, cause you're only a man, and a man's gotta learn to take it. Try to believe, though the road gets rough, that you gotta hang tough to make it. History repeats itself, try and you succeed. Never doubt that you're the one, and you can have your dream. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. Try your best to win them all, and one day time will tell. When you're the one that's standing there, you reach the final bell. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Shine's Room. May I please have a mic check, webcam check, please?
All good.
All good. It's all good in the hood. All right, well, little bit of an interesting thing here. It's a Friday, so what we're going to do something a little different today. What we're going to do is, I know there was a lot of people within our intensive educational course who might have had any questions regarding things that happened, channels, how you progressed after the class and whatnot, and I just thought today would be a perfect little opportunity to just speak about just small examples, what you learned, maybe even what you thought of the class, this, potentially very interactive session, what you wanted to see, maybe even what you would like to see more of, constructive criticism, what you loved about it, what you hated about it, and that would be, really cool as well. So, it's going to basically be open forum, and we're just going to discuss a few things going on before we start right here. I'm going to start off with Amron. This is basically what happened. I'm going to pull up a 5-minute chart right there, and you saw what happened is we blipped to 1418. But the awesome thing about this move was it never broke through this 1419 level. Stop at 1420 never triggered off for me. And the stock drifted up, and I am still remaining short now. A little bit of a P&L swing right there, and I'm still short the stock. I still have this 5-minute resistance, 1419. My stop, 1421. Still able to hold on to these shares. So it was a very interesting move right there in Amron. I am still holding this puppy short. I'm, obviously, I guess the thing I'm most afraid of is a resolution, next week or whatnot. You're in that little bit of a triangle wedge right here. You got a bear flag pattern, as you can see right there. And you could see yourself just hitting support right there, jumping up, hitting resistance, and you see the volume dying off, giving confirmation for the wedge that's in place right here. So it's a very interesting look on Amron. I didn't want to micromanage this trade too hard. I had the risk parameters already in place, and I'm still looking for potentially that bear flag continuation pattern. So still, I'm very bearish on this name. A name I'm bullish on is going to be Melnick, because look at what this stock has done recently. Ever since we were breaking this trigger 96.50, one of the morning triggers, this stock already jumped, just short of $10 right here. He's like $9. So you got a very nice bounce right there, and Mary, Larry, Nancy X-ray to the upside. There's a lot of bullish names. There's a lot of bearish names. I did exit my Apple puts very timely when the Qs kept hitting day highs. This is what we saw early on. This is a very rare look. I do keep archives of these things, and I do take screenshots of these things. As you guys know, I love using, it's almost like forward education, Instead of going back to old subject, use the subject at hand that's happening right now in the markets. That'll keep things fresh. So what did you see here this morning? Even though they were slightly correlating with each other, what happened was the Qs right over here and Apple right over here had a major divergence. As you could see, the triple Qs in the ascending channel upwards and Apple in the descending channel downwards. And the exit right over here in the high 573s, and Apple was based off the break of this descending channel while the Qs kept making day highs. So for me, I was betting that Apple would catch up, and that's exactly what happened eventually. I was hoping Apple would actually be the one that drags the Qs lower. That didn't happen. Stop parameter in place. Was a beautiful trade. Over 100% gain in that last Apple put. I sold it at $25.65. So it was a nice little pop in Apple. We're getting a little bit of reprieve here in the market. And as you can see, you're just right in the middle of that ascending channel right now. It's ascending channel right here. You're just basically in the center range. We tried to close below 62.49. We did 62.54. Ascending channel officially intact. Officially, we headed higher. So it's a very nice move there. So just want to talk about some things. How many of you guys are comfortable with channels? How many of you guys are comfortable drawing channels? Yes? 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 Good. Getting better? Yes? How long have you guys been drawing channels now? Here comes the experience. You ready? I'm going to type mine in, but I'm only going to hit enter after you guys put in yours. 40 years. There. That's it. That's 5 years experience. That is 5 years experience with vaguely drawing channels, learning more as I go. Apple busting at 580 right now. What a slam against 580 in Apple. Huge volume. Triple Qs going through day highs right now. You're going through that gap fill. Overhead daily resistance, $65.10. This market keeps ripping higher. I think that's what's the problem with this Amron right here, that the market keeps ripping higher. If you're short anything, you pick a weak name to be short because it almost hedges you against the market. Look what a good short Amron was as a potential hedge of this market right here. That's Alpha Mary Randy Nancy. Look at what a beautiful hedge it is as you see the Qs ripping up through day highs now, up $1.17. You got your spiders up $2. That's a very big bar there. I don't know if there's any international news. I don't see anything technical that would cause that at the moment, but you are having a volume extension right now in your spiders and Qs. Market busting up here beautifully at the moment. Now take a look at this Sanofi SNY right now, Sam Nancy Yankee. Oh my goodness, does this stock have air to the upside? Stock's just ripping right now. There's some world news. There is world news out there. This is a reaction to international news. Keep that in mind. Be very careful. You're forming a bull flagpole pattern right now. Is anybody watching anything in particular? Is there anything you would like a quick look at? Now's as good a time as any with this market ripping here. I'm not touching any of this yet. I'm letting this thing digest. CRM didn't really have a flagpole yet. Your bust out in CRM is going to be 132.72, and you're trying to print that level again. You did blip it up before, and that's going to be your key resistance right here on the daily to continue to push up. So if you could just get over the 132.70s, you're clear for takeoff. And by takeoff, I mean on a daily chart move maybe to 138.02. You're looking for maybe $6, $5 off a pop like that if it could hold above that level. So that's a very interesting look. Bit of a bull flagpole. I'm going to break this down on a 1 minute. Market action very quick. Little bit of a shooting star currently. 1 minute support right here, 64.61. That is your support on your triple Qs. That is a potential level to watch for a potential test. You got ArcelorMittal shooting up here beautifully. That's MT, Mary Tango right now. Continuing out of its pattern. I had a trigger on this thing today, 1559. This thing just triggered off of this volume in the market, 1559. You're looking, that was an A-plus trigger, 1618, overhead daily resistance, and Mary Tango, that's MT right now. My goodness, what an influx of volume. TLT showing showing lots of weakness, obviously, plummeting right now to day lows. You take a look at your UUP, same story, morning glory. UUP trading at day lows right now, breaking into a potential gap fill to 22.57. A 7-cent down move in UUP could justify the Qs being up $2.50 for the day, or maybe even $2 for the day. So just keep that in mind. It's an initial flash. The down moves are probably going to have bear flag digestive patterns as soon as the 1-minute volume tapers off. Look at the 1-minute volume. It's tapering off. You're officially right now in the digestive pattern of this bull flag on the 1-minute chart currently. You got overhead 1-minute triangulation wedge resistance 64.68. That's a penny below the day highs. That's your true breakout level, with 64.63 being your key breakdown level. Again, you're in a digestive pattern right now. This is a 1-minute chart, and you do see the volume tapering off right here. So very interesting levels. Again, a key 1-minute support level is going to be 64.61. I don't know. This news just moved the entire market. Apple exploded on volume. Everything exploding with volume. What's this Netflix doing? Even Netflix got a little bump up here. Zynga, Facebook, nothing. Yep, that ArcelorMittal pop went right through that 1559 trigger right there. Nice little level. Walgreens spiking up here to day highs. You got letter M Macy's right now spiking up to day highs. Wow. I didn't expect this influx of market action just as I was talking. So you have a 1-minute breakout right now on your triple Qs. Previous 1-minute volume elevated. So what you're looking for is a potential bull flag pole continuation pattern showing basically that this digestion is officially over right now. This is a huge market rip here. Just be very careful if you're trying to do a counter trade here. For me, a key counter trade level here is going to be all the way up to 64.99. So that's when I'm a bear, at 64.99, when you're approaching this resistance level right up here. So, you know, that's when at least if I'm wrong over there, I lose 2 cents, while if I'm wrong over here, I could lose, 30 cents, considering the price of the triple Qs right here. So make sure that you at least identify your own resistance levels if you see one that you do want to play it versus. Remember, every time you buy something, you want to know a rule for life for successful trading. A rule of life for successful trading is when you buy something, try to buy it near a support line. When you short something, try to short it near a resistance line. Stocks are going to move up and down in between, but if you could catch it on those levels of where you want to enter a trade, when you buy something, wouldn't you want to know that there's at least a concrete floor below you? Whether it breaks or not, wouldn't you like to know that it's there when you take a long position? Wouldn't you like to know there's an iron ceiling above you? If you're shorting a stock, of course you say. You say, of course, but are you actually going to wait to short your stock at your levels? Remember, technically analyze things, find levels of where you want to buy it and sell it. You want to buy near support, short near resistance, because that is the ultimate factors when it comes to risk-reward trading. You risk 2 cents, not randomly. You don't just pick a random spot. I'll buy here, risk 2 cents. That's not how it works. You technically analyze it where risking 2 cents right there makes sense instead of nonsense. I rhyme all the time like Sprite has lemon and lime. You still have, again, that bull flagpole continuation pattern. Right now in the triple Qs, you did see that volume elevation. We are able to see something like that right now. And, following this is one volume taper off right here on this 1-minute chart. So basically right now on the triple Qs, this bar is going to close. And you see right now the Qs would have to break 113,000 shares on the 1 minute in order to have a volume elevation. If you're unable to do that, you're likely to digest to the downside. You see that the bull flagpole that just popped up right now was weaker. This is insinuating a down move, probably coming in shortly. However, this is a 1-minute hyper scalp look here. Still, the higher conviction trade for me is to short at a higher level. But just watch it if you're, going along this for the first time, because really it's a learning experience, which is more important than any amount of money that you could make with this trade right here. So what you do see right now is take a look at this bull flagpole right here, 248,000 shares, and what you do see is it's lower than the 295 and 352,000 shares that you saw previously, showing that the bull flagpole might have exhausted all the buyers, that the buyers got tired at those levels. When buyers get tired, lo and behold, you get a 1-minute red candle. So that's just a minor thing of what we go over in our ongoing education. I just wanted to give you guys who are, maybe on the fence or thinking, if you took it, keep coming back, keep retaking it, because, we're always updating things in the market. There's always new stuff to learn. There's always a new way to look at the same thing that you're used to looking at. It's a living, growing family and community of people, and really you should take advantage of something like this because, well, A, you're not going to find it anywhere else, and B, why wouldn't you want to help yourself? So hope you guys enjoyed this little presentation. If you guys want any stock analysis or any chart breakdowns, now would be the time to ask. Hey, Paul, can you guess which tea this is?
Coca leaf?
Lipton. Do I ever use QID? No, I don't. Do I think it's a good instrument for to play it short? It's a triple hedge. It's just a volatile triple Qs. Do I use it? No. I just rather use the triple Qs, but it's a matter of preference. If you like this as an indicator to really show you, because you get the bigger bars on something that's ultra short. I mean, I'm assuming it's triple short, right? So, yeah, it looks. It's a good tool if you like it, and it will show you more exaggerated moves, much like what we're having right now on the 1 minute. So again, on the triple Qs, you had that little 1 minute digestion. Look, you popped up again, and you put in 159,000 shares. So in order for us to have a bull flag continuation pattern, you would need to project within the next 45 seconds that you're going to have just about at this point 200,000 more shares coming in these triple Qs on the 1 minute. And then when you start analyzing volume into your technical analysis, that's going to really start showing you when things are topping out, how you have those feelings of things are topping out. There's a mathematical reason for everything you feel when you look at the market. It's just all about identifying it. Goldman Sachs trading at day highs, right above par right now. $100.49, your trigger right here. It's an interesting trigger right there, and Gary Sam already ran up a lot. Keep that in mind. The market is ripping. This is legitimately a bullish move. What I think is going to happen now are people going to try to short this thing, and they're going to get caught. And then what's going to happen is what I am looking for on this move. Let me just tell you my personal thoughts. I'm talking to you, Melnick's all-time highs. When you look at a move like this, I am waiting for the test of $65. I want to see a little rip through $65, and that's when you short it. Why? Because a 2-cent risk makes sense when you're trading up here at these levels to have a little stop above. It makes sense. You have a resistance level there. There's an iron ceiling, and basically, instead of trying to catch the stock down here, with the iron ceiling up here, you're trying to catch the stock here with the iron ceiling up here. It's that simple. That is my entire logic behind this move. Many people are going to say a million different things right now. I think we rip to 65. I think we blip it up. You can have a 1 minute short opportunity in between, sure, but I'd rather wait for the conviction trade here. I'm sitting here smiling. I think the bulls want to push this thing through 65, and then I think you get a 5 minute to maybe an hour down move, depending on what the market is doing, and definitely something that I feel I could even catch as a hyper scalp through those levels, because an exhaustive move running into a major resistance level, if I'm wrong, what's going to happen? The Qs are going to have so much more strength even after the enormous run up it's had, and it's going to run through and it's going to throw me through, and I'm going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cents on the trade, and then that's going to be all, folks, for the trade. But if I am right and we run into those levels and it can't break that ceiling, you're looking at a potential bull flag retracement pattern, maybe into the 64.70s. Just some thoughts. Amron pulling lower. Yeah, it is. That's why I said, wasn't that the greatest hedge short today? That's what I love most about this trade right here. That is what I am loving the most about it right now. It's that it's keeping me in despite the market ripping up. This thing is still technically weak. So you know what happens when people say short the weak names, buy the strong names? Don't ever think in your career that short the weak name means that the stock is down $20 and that's why it's a weak name, because it gapped down $20 or it gapped up $20 and it's a strong name. When the market opens, you will find out real quick if it's a strong name or not. Amron, again, very simple breakdown. I just want to bring up what we were looking at before. I am trying to portray in my best abilities this information to you as possible. So that's why I started doing this, because this is what I see. You had that 15-minute chart before. We talked about that $14 resistance level. It was a phenomenal look on the 15-minute. You take it over to the 5. Broke into this channel. Never broke the top. Never broke the top. And thankfully so. I probably would have revisited this thing. I probably would have ended up shorting it at a lower price. But look at what's happening right here. This is a resolution potential right here to the triangle wedge. You see the volume is actually percolating. Watch me zoom in now. Look at those volume candles. You're actually getting an extension in volume. Look at that first volume break. You know what that tells you? What does that tell you that you had a higher volume bar as you broke that triangle wedge? What would that tell you if you had the triangle wedge? Anyone? Shows you A. Amit, what was the question? What does it show you right here on the break of this wedge where you just had an increase in volume right here? What does that tell you about your wedge? Sell, sure. Trader 11, thank you. Thank you. What Trader 11 said, great job. It's drawn correctly and it's in play. That's what it means. It could pop up, it could rip down. I just want to murder this stock today. I just want to murder it. And you know where my conviction came to this trade? Was right over here when I was speaking about it bearishly here. See, this is the beauty about what we bring in Shine's room. See, April, he was bullish around $7 that I recall. I apologize if it was 6. But that's what I remember. Again, you know, I've had 1 or 2 drinks, you know, in my life, and I might have forgot. But looking at this right here, you had that major ascending channel. You started breaking up, and what was the thing when we said when we broke this major ascending channel, you look for a retracement back within the channel. We were talking about this even with the Apple. It's the ongoing education. It's the ongoing Shine's room attacking the same form of technical patterns in a variety of stocks. Take a look at that orange ascending channel down there. I still think this Apple, and again, I don't think it's happening in one day with one red bar, obviously, but I am looking for Apple to retrace into that channel, and the longer it takes, the not as low where Apple has to go to get back in it, because this ascending channel is still coming up, and I do think Apple could eventually test it. This is my technical thoughts on Apple before earnings. We talked about this on the day of earnings. This was the breakdown of Apple with recent technical signs. Again, you saw it technically weak. We were talking about it. I think a retrace to 530 is in the cards. I think the Apple would need to blow out earnings in order to be technically satiated, meaning in order to justify staying above it, you would have needed to blow earnings past the street. And while nothing is 100%, I was bearish on this Apple based on a technical pattern. Now, what I see with Apple after trading outside of the ascending channel with the bear flag, with the rising wedge outside of the ascending channel, do you need more conviction? Like, do you wonder why, like, this was the trade to go into? Because all the planets aligned. And now you take a look at an Ameren right here. Still a bullish name. You can't argue it. From a technician standpoint, you cannot argue it. That in the long run, on the bigger picture, that it's bullish. But there's green and red bars through those bullish moves, aren't there? And here is your pullback into the channel. To be honest, this stock, I think, could even hug $14 if it wanted, but I don't think it's getting above $14 in terms of closing above that level today without some surge of bullish volume to come in. You take a look at this chart. That's all, folks. I just want to see a form of a volume spike right here. I think Ameren could plummet. You know, we were talking about it going through day lows this morning when it was at 14. I'm not saying it now because it's 16 cents away. I'm not telling you guys I'm shorting this thing because I have a secret agenda and I'm really long, or I really want you guys to maybe sell it with me to help booster or bolster my position. It's just a technical look. This is just completely educational, informational purposes only. Take a look at that beautiful triangle wedge. Take a look at that drift down. Watch these 5-minute charts, bars as they drift down. We put in a little bit of a volume elevation right here on the current bar. Sometimes that leads to a higher percentage value of getting that bear flag continuation pattern to the downside on the very next bar. That's a statistical thing I found too. And I hope these little things and these little tidbits really help you. I'm with you, Dan. I am absolutely, yeah. You know why? Not because it's really an opinion. It's just more, look, this is what happens. If you have a bear flag continuation pattern off of a bear flag, you have a big red bar. Now, this big red bar happens to be $1.06 wide on Ameren's 5-minute. So $1.06 wide from the break of this bar to 1345, and we might even see 1275, 1280, 1290. But I am going to take off a position in the 13.25 range if and only if it gets down here. This was a phenomenal call. So anyways, you do see that extension bar coming in right now on Ameren on the 5-minute, and you do see the drift down bar. And it's more interpreting when you see that drift down bar is the volume elevation on the previous 5-minute candle. So it was definitely a solid play of the day. I don't want to even think numbers until I cover these shares because I don't know what's going to happen. You're not up or down anything until obviously the position is off the table. I'm still leaving in the same stop parameters. $14.21 on Ameren, and I'm watching the volume potentially elevate here. So you see a little drift up in 5-minute volume. If you actually break this down on the 1-minute right now, you could sort of catch those things coming a mile away. So it's things and theories like this that is part of our ongoing education. Our ongoing education is constantly learning and seeing new things and ways to approach this stock market, to approach, you know, a technical viewpoint to make you, you know, technically strong. This is technical training camp, you know. Instead of having weights here, we have charts here that we have to work out with our brains. And, you know, approaching the market and with this technical savviness like this will allow you to really change your stuff around. This is what really defines you. A trade like Ameren today, this is what could define you as a trader right now. This is what could define you. If I'm able to hold these shares right now for a breakdown through the day lows, and I am watching it here, 1345 right now, day lows. Those Ameren puts went up in value as well, obviously. I mean, you don't have to say if you're not. How many people are involved with Ameren? How many people, not today, but how many people were involved with Ameren for a long position? How many people, when I mean long, I mean time-wise, not buy or sell. Doesn't matter if you bought or sold. How many people had a position within this wedge of Ameren that you were holding still till now? How many people were buying and selling within this wedge and was opening and was waiting for the break before they got the conviction and slapped on long, yeah. Good. Buying and selling. Good. Should have sold it this AM. I don't know. This is all we talked about before. This is how I tried to project this besides, you know, talking about it a lot. This is how I tried to project this Ameren to the community. And the goal was on that rising wedge right there to short it at the top line and give it a little bit of room. Basically try to short 14 and above and put a stop right over the 20-cent level. So it's $1,000 risk. And this puppy I'm hoping is going to pay off. See, my only real fear with this trade is that I was going to cover my shares today and I was going to take a profit. Then I'm going to walk in on Monday and be like, you know, like one of those. So, I mean, it definitely looks, she's looking good right here. I mean, what can I say? You're at that support level. We could easily just bounce up to 14. Look. Anything can happen. You have to constantly know your time frames when you're approaching this thing. For me, on a market like this, with Apple going down and the Qs going up, my conviction was torn apart. So when my conviction is torn apart, I need to find a trade that's going to give me a crap load of conviction if I'm going to take a position. And of course, that position is Ameren. Never go broke taking profits. Quoted for truth. So. Hope you guys enjoyed this little talk. And again, that was just more of a thought of the ongoing education here that we offer. It's an ongoing thing. It's not like you just learn the same exact thing every time. There's different ways to approach different things. There's different ways to approach the same things. And it's an ongoing, living, breathing, growing organism, this market. It is a living thing. And, you know, as a living thing, changes always occur, and you always have to be up to date with what's going on so you could better prepare for the future. So, hope you guys enjoyed this little Friday presentation. Got some beautiful weather here in New York City. Maybe go to the beach. At what point am I no longer bullish on Rosetta Genomics? You could argue right here that this is a major breakdown, and you would be right. This is a major breakdown right here. The fact that I didn't see volume spiking to the downside, and it could happen, is another thing. For me, ultimately I have 1,200 shares right now. You know, I was thinking about stops under 743. That's going to be the, you know, that's my, you know, between